Good morning, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle, a happy medium. In this video, or the next couple of videos, are going to be done a little differently. But in this video, we're going to talk about protection and the big buzz in the industry at the moment around protection. And is it true that you need protection from the spirit world? Or is it just that we are all jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to talking about all things protection? Me personally, I'm going to be straight off the bat and I'm going to be very honest. When I first started out my mediumship, I was one that put them bubbles up. I was one of them that put them lights up. And I was one of them people who believed that that was necessary in order to conduct and do my mediumship. As I've moved further and further along the path and come into contact with different mediums and seen different experiences and heard different things, I'm a girl who likes to trial and test things. I'm a bit of a, what I call facts and figures kind of lass. And I don't walk a walk unless I can talk the talk. So I like to see everything from both angles, not only from the fact that I work with the spirit world, from my communications, right through to doing protection and not doing protection. But I really wanted to understand where this idea came from, why we talked about these bubbles and sort of why all these things were being talked about in the industry. So I did no more than pop myself off to the spirit world, called my team in and got down to the nuts and bolts of what it really is and why we talk so heavily about this protection. So as I went to my team in the spirit world, my intention was, I want to understand why we talk so heavily about this protection. And as my team come forward and as we sort of spoke and talked for a while, the sort of gist I got from my people is we're all personally responsible. We're personally responsible for our own energy, which is your auric field, your psychic energy, your kinetic energy, whatever you want to call it. And ultimately, because of that, we have many different people. Not everybody is like us, as in mediums. We're all a medium where we can all read energy, but not everybody's moving their mind and going to the spirit world. We have lots of psychics, you know people who work with energy, and even down to the normal person of intuition. And what I got back from my people is when this idea of bubbles come in or putting protection on, at the time, the minds in which that had that were a little fear-based. They were a little frightened. They weren't quite sure. And as mediumships moved, we haven't moved with it. And because of that, what has happened is this sort of concept or idea has continued to move with it. And what we have to understand is, and as I talk so massively on the channel about it, and there's lots of other channels out there as well, and I'm very pleased that we have, and I'm seeing a lot of difference in the movement. What we have to understand is it's only but intention. It's intention of the fact that we are protecting our own energy, because we as humans can give away our energy quite easily without even realizing it. So when you put that in the format of mediumship, what has happened is as far as my people are concerned, there has been what they call a lap over, where people have been given this idea. And remember, the white bubble is only a visualization, which means it's only intention based, which means some people need visualizations in order for the conscious mind to accept it. Same with sort of guides and stuff. Some people need to see people where, really they are energy. So it's really just where the conscious mind needs something in order to be able to hold on to it so it believes it, if you can understand what I'm saying about that. So when I asked them about the overlapping, they said, well, when this idea was brought in, or when it was sort of given out to many mediums at that time, what happened is they thought it was for mediumship. And they thought that they were protecting themselves because of bad spirits, because of fear, because mediumship hadn't moved forward in, lots of different capacities. So when I said to them, is this protection necessary in order, so that we can work with the spirit world and all these types of things? The answer in short back to me was no, you don't need protection from something that's so natural. And I talk about that here on the channel quite a bit. Mediumship is very natural. We are all natural mediums in some capacity, or natural energy readers, which are a natural psychic, whichever label you want to put on it. So when I said, well, what do we do about it within the movement? And they said, well, it's all about people's mindsets and how much people really do want to change the way they do. They said, for example, Danielle, you did do that, and then you decided to stop doing it to test it, which I trial and test everything. Everything I give you on this channel is trialed and tested by myself, my students. You know, our case studies are scientifically based things that I do, and I do a lot more of it now in order to prove that what I talk is actually isn't just an opinion, it's fact as well. So when I said to them, my people said, well, you trialed it. You know that them things don't go on because you work with no protection. You work with just the intention of, I'm going to the spirit world. I know I'm taken care of. And plus, he says, you know your guides are there, which you know that, you know, you will always be taken care of within the spiritual world. Not that they're taking care of me in order to keep negative spirits out or, you know, these types of things. It's just that I naturally know my guides are there and they will assist with the communications if needed. They will address anything that they feel that needs to be addressed. Because as much as I'm a medium, I don't get to know everything that's going on within the spiritual realms. And especially within my team, it's none of my business. My business is to do a job for the spirit world, which is to give communications. It's not my job to get involved in spiritual matters because ultimately it would be my arrogance to think that I know better than the divine. And it would be my arrogance to think that I know better than the plan in which that the divine have. So I don't get involved in my spiritual business. That's my spirit team's job, and I leave them to that. I say to my earthly world job, because that's my job, that's what I'm doing down here. So when I said, well, what are you talking about with this connection to personal responsibility and your energy? He says humans have massive amounts of energy, which is, like I say, kinetic energy or psychic energy. And from time to time, we will come into contact with people who can and will drain or draw off you, because if your energy is not locked off, or if you're not keeping your energy to yourself, or you haven't got strong personal boundaries, or you don't have some sort of restriction upon you, you will be constantly overgiven. So this is where the visualization of the white bubbles come in. It was never intended for mediumship. It was only ever intended for your energy. It was only intended to give you some sort of visualization in order to take care of your energy, because you're personally responsible for your energy, which is what I talk about quite a lot here on the channel, that ultimately your energy, the spirit world's not interested in your energy. They're not bothered. It's irrelevant to them. They can't work with it. It's too dense. It's too heavy. And it works on a totally different vibration to the vibration in which the spirit world works on. So when we talk about interactions with other humans, of course, they're bouncing on your energy. They can work off your energy. They can take off your energy. They'll never take all of your energy, but they can. For example, we can sit within a room with people who are incredibly not in a good place, but you are in a good place. And if your energy is not locked off, what can happen is you can start to leak energy out. Say, for example, we get a fright. What will happen is through the auric field, we will leak a little bit of energy, or we will lose a little bit of energy because it's been a sudden shock to the system. The system's had to readjust, and so we will leak a little bit of energy there in order to be able to, because that's how it happens when we get a fright. We can replenish that by sleeping, you know, eating well, you know, meditating, sitting in the power, whatever it is that you want to do. So I really need to get this out there to people that protection is only a visualization for you. It's a visualization for your energy. It's not for the spirit world. Now, as you all know here on the channel, or anybody who watches me, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm only here to educate. There's a difference. You do whatever it is that you feel is best for you. If you want to put that bubble up and your mind still needs that, then you go with that. You go with whatever feels right for you. Don't be bullied and don't do what other people tell you to do. You do whatever you want to do. And there's going to be a video straight up after this one with regards to your relationship with the spirit world. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. If you feel like me, who was like that at one point and then decided to give it a whirl, and now I don't work like that in any way, shape or form, then try that. See how that if that goes on for you. See how things work for you. But if it doesn't, stay like that. That's fine. There's no right or wrong here. I can say that I've been to the spirit world and I've talked about these things, and, you know, the scientific and, you know, the evidence of the spirit world says differently. But as a human, you always have a free will choice, and you are entitled to do whatever you want to do with your mediumship. And I'm seeing an awful lot going on within the industry at the minute, and I'm seeing quite a lot across YouTube and on the other social media platforms where we are taking it upon ourselves to ram our opinions down other people's throats. And that's not right, because we're all on a journey here, and we will all learn this journey if and when we are ready to. So in this video for discussion today, and off the back of many things I've been seeing and the big buzz around protection, hopefully this has given you a little bit more of an insight. And if you feel that you still need it, keep it. Keep it. If you don't, try something else. I would be interested to know how you think about this video. Please do give it some likes, thumbs up, I don't know, whatever it is you lot all do out there. Thank you to all the new subscribers. The channel's continuing to grow at a massive rate. I'm eternally grateful, which means I must be doing something right. But hopefully I am away. The next video will be up tomorrow for you. This one's going up today, which is Thursday. Next one will go up, which will be tomorrow on Friday. And then I will, because I'm away all weekend yet again, training. I'm doing a lot of overseas training at the moment. And hopefully I'll see you all next week when I get back. But for now, big kisses from me and lots of love from the spirit world. Bye for now.